Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage members of the Hamilton County Commission on Women and Girls to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, we ask those who are able, please stand.
Thank you to the Commission on Women and Girls for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please give them a hand. Thank you. Well, good evening. And welcome to the State of the County. I got to tell you something funny before we get started. So I told them in no uncertain terms, no drinking before the State of the County. And they opened the bars. So no heckling from my family members that are here, no heckling. Okay, just want to get that out of the way. So every day, people say to me, so what does the county really do? And I think it's a fair question, because so often you are not interacting on a daily basis with the county. You're not in the courts, you don't see a child in danger, and you're not in the county jail. But what the county does can have a profound impact on your daily life. And we're going to show you one example.
911, what is the location of your emergency? How old is she?
She's almost 1.
She's 1 year old. Did you find her in the tub?
Yeah.
Is she breathing?
No, she's not breathing right now.
Okay, do you know CPR?
No.
Okay, I've got the Life Squad dispatch. Listen to me.
I need for you to put the heel of the hand in the center of the chest. You're going to press down firmly from 1/3 to 1/2 inches in depth. You're going to press down hard and fast, and I'll count with you. We need to do it at least 30 times. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
She's trying to cry now.
She's trying to cry. Okay, then don't push on her chest.
There she go.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, okay, just let her cry. Turn her over on her side. Let the water come out.
And she's still crying? Yeah, crying's a good thing.
Listen to me. The medics are there. I need for you to open the door for me, okay? I'm going to hang up with you. They're going to take care of your child, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
So I think Lori Harris is here with us tonight. Well, and I can't see, and I can't see where she's sitting. But anyway, Lori, thank you for your service, and thank all the 911 operators in this county for your service. And I'd like to welcome all of you here tonight. I'd especially like to recognize my fellow commissioners, and again, I can't see, and I know Stephanie Summerow-Dumas was unable to come because of a family emergency, not her own, but a family emergency. But Commissioner Todd Portune is, oh, there you are. Commissioner Todd Portune. Okay. And a special thanks to, I believe that's Jeff Aludo over here. Jeff is the county administrator, and thank you to him and the county staff that are here tonight. Thanks, Jeff. Also, a thank you to all the countywide officials, and we have a number of judges. I know I saw Judge Yates in the box over there, so I would like to thank them personally. Judges Kubicki, Cooper, Baradon, Lubers, Nestor, and Yates. Thank you all for coming. So there are a number of other elected officials in the room, too numerous to name, from all over the county. And so if you are an elected, I see Dan Pillows right here. So if you are an elected official in the county, please stand and be recognized. In the past, the State of the County has been graciously hosted by the Rotary Club. Joseel Ehrlich, Brett Lebhar, and Doug Bolton are here tonight from the Rotary. I just want to thank you for your past generosity. And most importantly, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your evening to join us here tonight. You are what tonight is all about. We want to involve you and engage you in a dialogue. We want you to help us co-create the future of the county. The talent in this room is powerful, and while we are strong individually, to be our best, we must move forward together. Forward together because the key to our challenges lie not in the isolation of our solos, but in the strength of our collaboration. Forward together because lifting up the voices of citizens and stakeholders will always yield better solutions. And forward together because the greatest gift we can give taxpayers is a harmonious and civil approach to building a better future. Let's create a space in our county where people can agree to disagree, a space where we engage in civil discourse and attempt to understand one another and treat each other with respect. Let's commit to listen. Come join us. Harnessing our collective talents, let's build a safer, more vibrant, and more prosperous Hamilton County. It wouldn't be a government speech without a new acronym. So tonight, I'd like to roll out a new one, the 3 C's. At all times, the county must be 3 things: collaborative, creative, and cost-conscious. Collaborative means working together with all of the partners in this room to serve the citizens of this county. It means a more open and transparent government. It means being accessible and out in the community. Our evening meetings and the commission hearings in the community are examples of this. Actually, tonight is an example of this. And most of all, collaboration means being a partner that communities want to work with. Creative means thinking out of the box. As a county, we must provide basic services. The question is how we provide basic services. Creative means thinking of unobvious connections based on our unique vantage point and having diverse voices at the table. And cost-conscious means not just looking for incremental savings, but breakthrough ones. Cost-conscious means looking for opportunities where an ounce of prevention beats a pound of cure. And cost-conscious means trying to not do everything, but prioritizing to give us the biggest bang for our buck. And if we do all of these things right, I believe we can be the most collaborative, creative, and cost-conscious county commission in all of Ohio. We can truly move forward together. Before I go any further, I want to ground us in the budget realities in Hamilton County. 70% of the county's $241 million general fund goes to public safety. Basic services like the sheriff, jails, 911, and the courts. While we can accomplish much through being cost-conscious, make no mistake about it, major cuts from the state are threatening these basic services. Every year, we face reductions of $32 million from the state. Since 2010, we have lost $342 million due to policy changes out of our control. This means that we must be smart with how we fulfill our obligations, such as children's services, facility maintenance, economic development, and some priorities as we work on the heroin epidemic, infant mortality, oral health, and economic inclusion. We're making strategic investments in these areas because the consequences of inaction are expensive, not only in dollars, but also in human lives. The county was able to balance the 2019 budget with cuts to services and one-time revenue. Over the next 2 years, the board will need to develop a strategy for bringing the county budget into structural balance. This will be no easy task. A key way we can move forward together is through stronger collaboration between the county and local governments. There are 49 cities, villages, and townships in Hamilton County, each with its own character and history. That diversity is our strength. But only through collaboration can we tackle the challenges facing our region. Tonight, I pledge to make the county more collaborative with local governments, and one big place to start is through better shared services. While some of our local partners are taking advantage of collective resources, other local governments are actually leaving money on the table because they're not fully aware of all that the county can do to help. We're out to change that. Here is our menu of opportunity. This is a menu of opportunity to help governments tap into county resources for things like public safety, environmental services, economic development, and purchasing. I have copies here tonight in the back for all of you that are interested in having one. There are countless opportunities to leverage the county's scale, but what does this mean in real life? This is road salt. It's also very heavy. So, the county buys tons and tons at a healthy discount. Local governments also need to buy road salt. By pooling resources with the county, local governments can save money by taking advantage of a major discount that the county receives. This is just a small example, but multiply this out, and pretty soon, you're talking about real money. We must do more to strengthen and expand these partnerships. That is why we're going to host the first ever Shared Services Summit to engage all 49 jurisdictions in Hamilton County to discuss opportunities to partner and share best practices. We will hold this, oh, thank you. Unexpected. We will hold this summit in the fall. It's going to resemble the neighborhood summit that the city has been doing for many, many years. And we're going to invite in all of our community partners to join in the dialogue. I'd now like to take you through some of the key county priorities, and perhaps none is more important than children's services. Ohio is 50th out of 50 states when it comes to funding children's services. And it's even worse. These are things like foster care and child protective services. The sad fact is, if the funding were doubled, Ohio would still be 50 out of 50. Thanks to you, Hamilton County voters, more resources are on the way in Hamilton County from the recently approved Children's Services Levy. To save lives, we must provide vulnerable children with safe homes, free from abuse, dependency, and neglect. One fact the data shows us: keeping kids safe in their own home or in the home of a relative is the least traumatic, it's the least costly, and it's the least complicated solution. Under the leadership and vision of our Director of Jobs and Family Services, Moira Weir, we are doing a number of things to improve strategies to help kids. First, we're hiring additional caseworkers to meet the skyrocketing need in number of cases. Second, we've established a family finding unit to help at-risk kids stay safe in the homes of relatives. Third, we're providing a monthly stipend similar to what foster families get for relatives on fixed incomes who are suddenly cast into parental roles. Supporting family members who step up will help us keep kids safe and out of the system. So just as we are prioritizing kids, seniors are also a top priority for Hamilton County. A key priority is keeping seniors in their homes, aging in place and out of nursing homes. This is good for seniors, and it's also good for county taxpayers. An important strategy here is home visits. Thanks to our partners at the Council on Aging, I have had the opportunity to go on home visits to see an elderly woman in Westwood, and really I've done a number of these visits, So I went out to Westwood because the Council on Aging, and I was a state rep at the time, but we were voting on things for seniors in the state budget. And they wanted us to provide more services for seniors to keep them at home. And so they took me out. The woman's name was Helen. She lived in Westwood. She was about 95 years old and living in her family home. And so I went out and I talked to her and I said, so why is it so important to you to have Council on Aging providing these services? And she said to me, they help me sort my medications. They help me do laundry. They take me to my doctor's visits. She said, I don't have any family in the area, and without this service, I'd be in a nursing home. That's what it means strategically to invest in keeping seniors in their homes. Thank you. We have a number of other senior initiatives, including help for the homeless through respite care, providing patient navigation services to help seniors overcome the intricacies of the healthcare system, and implementing care for the caregivers to help family members cope with the pressure of caring for a loved one. We must remain vigilant to the needs of the most vulnerable in our community, especially children and seniors. We also need to be smart on crime. As the nation goes through a national dialogue on what works and what doesn't work in criminal justice, Hamilton County has been leading the way with creative and cost-conscious solutions. I have been working with my colleagues and our counterparts at City Hall to initiate the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program, which gives police officers a new tool to connect people to mental health or addiction treatment instead of arresting them. Typically, these offenders would be in jail only a short time and are quickly released with these crimes on their permanent record. Without access to treatment, it's not long before they're back through the revolving door. We're leveraging the expertise of the county's award-winning reentry department and a $500,000 grant from the federal government to make this program a reality. For people who have entered the system, we've partnered with our colleagues at the courthouse to create the Community Alternative Sentencing Center, giving judges another option to sentence offenders outside of the jail, where they have access to treatment and career training. Another initiative expands the capacity at the Hamilton County Jail. The twist is, the new space isn't for new cells, the space is for treatment for the folks that are in that facility. They can receive behavioral health and drug treatment services. State capital dollars have helped us do this expansion. We've partnered with Hamilton County Sheriff Jim Neal to create specialty pods for women in recovery and for veterans to address the unique needs of those populations. Our reentry pod provides the necessary supports for those leaving the jail to have their best chance at success as they reenter our community. Thank you to Trina Jackson and her team for making this program work. So rehabilitation, not incarceration, needs to be our North Star. We must continue to implement creative approaches to promote healing and to prevent recidivism. This is a win for public safety and for county taxpayers. All of these are examples of providing basic services in a way that employs the 3 C's. And we're reminded every day about the heroin epidemic that continues to plague our community. But there is hope. I'd like to share a story about Gerald Witt and those who helped him, Officer Tom Fallon and Bobby Turner and Shauna, who I think is also here, from the county's quick response team.
I feel like they have a lot better of a chance. I feel like they have a lot better of a chance to...
They haven't talked to him, but the sister has, but he's kind of ducking and dodging.
Hamilton County's quick response team is out every Tuesday and Friday, trying to find people.
So she hasn't been here in a while.
people who have overdosed on heroin in the past week.
So the hardest part with people that are addicted to heroin is finding them. So we have an analyst that digs real deep on every person to try to find whether it's phone numbers, next of kin, previous addresses, anything that we can, because we want to make sure that we're productive in our half of the day. But brother, you overdosed.
We're here
We
to
want
get
to help you.
treatment. Detox, inpatient, MAT, anything you want to do, I can help you get.
What do you need? You're going to die, bro.
Is there
You
any
know that.
is there any medical detox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what do they do medically?
Well, there's the engagement center.
QRT partners with the Engagement Center in Clifton, where they can get Gerald to bed right away.
So the idea behind the Engagement Center was saving lives. We specialize in working with the quick response team as well as hospital emergency rooms. And what we wanted to do was we saw a gap in our system where folks wanted to access care in the evenings, on the weekends, and just couldn't do that.
We're here for you.
You got an ID?
I don't.
Gerald started using heroin after getting addicted to pain pills prescribed after an accident when he was 16.
I was clean then. I mean, I was straight and narrows on the football team. I was starting to get into the cage fighting thing. I was healthy. I worked out every other day. My dresser was full of vitamins I took when I woke up every morning. Brushed my teeth 3 times a day. Now I don't have any.
Tomorrow morning I'm meeting him here at 10 a.m., taking him to the DMV to get his driver's license, going back to my office, making the call and securing placement.
Gosh, there's all these little steps, and without you guys to help, you would never do it, right?
Yeah, I know, and there's a lot of help out there, but people don't know how to navigate it, don't know where to start, and it gets overwhelming.
Gerald showed up for medical detox, spending 8 days here in treatment.
I'm a lot happier. Tomorrow is 14 days, and I feel 1,000 times better already.
So Tom and Shauna are here tonight representing the quick response team, and I just want to say, and I'm sure I speak for everybody in this room, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the work that you do. And our thanks go out to Gerald for being brave enough to tell his story. Programs like, thank you, yes, yeah, you're right. Programs like this have resulted in a decrease of overdoses by 28% this year. It's impressive. But we can and we must do better. To break the cycle of addiction, the Hamilton County Heroin Coalition was formed. The coalition takes a collaborative approach by including health experts, police and fire, treatment and prevention specialists, and others from the front line. In addition, the coalition engages local governments and the business community, hospitals, and the faith community. There are four pillars to the action team of the coalition. Number one is prevention. With the leadership from Mary Haig from Prevention First, we build neighborhood teams to help get the word out about tools available for parents, educators, and neighbors. Katrina Ruglis from Cincinnati State is helping expand that effort. Number two is treatment. We funded a 24-hour hotline with Addiction Services Council, expanded the quick response team countywide, supported the opening of the Talbert House Engagement Center, made possible through the work of the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. We have worked with the Health Collaborative to ensure that people taken to emergency rooms after an overdose get the help they need when they need it. Thanks to Neil Tillo of Talbert House, Pat Tribby of the MHRSB, and Sarah Bolton from the Health Collaborative for making this possible. So number three is interdiction. Our law enforcement partners investigate overdose deaths and arrest traffickers who are bringing the deadly drugs into our community. Our first responders are on the streets every day, saving lives. Newtown Police Chief Tom Simon and Cincinnati EMS District Chief Cedric Robinson have been leading the charge. Thank you, Tom. And number four is harm reduction. In partnership with Hamilton County Public Health Commissioner Tim Ingram, We've seen massive scale distribution, 50,000 doses of Narcan in this community. Narcan is that life-saving drug. At no cost to the taxpayers, and made harm reduction services available through mobile vans. This is a 50,000-foot view of the coalition's efforts. But to truly appreciate all that's going on, I encourage you to visit the website to read the State of the Heroin Crisis report that looks like this. Opioid addiction is a reality in every neighborhood across the county. It will take a collaborative and grassroots approach to reach more people like Gerald. In 2017, 441 Hamilton County residents died from an overdose. In 2018, that number dropped to 347. While this trend is positive, we've still lost 347 of our neighbors to an overdose. There are about 347 people in this room tonight. That is 347 too many. We must double down on our commitment to save lives and get people into long-term recovery. To change gears, another county priority is economic development. Although our resources are small, I believe we can have an oversized impact on growing our region. A great example here is this. The county took a contaminated site in Camp Washington that had no market value, remediated the site using state grants, and sold half of it to Rheingeist for a new distribution center, right? We then partnered with the Port Authority in the city of Cincinnati on the other half of the site to create manufacturing jobs. All told, the public-private partnership has meant we have retained 500 jobs and created 100 new ones. Here's hoping that Rheingeist opens a tap room soon. We have to talk about that. And it's not just the city center that's taking off. Our new Community and Economic Development Assistance Program has leveraged federal dollars to help with projects throughout the county to spur similar growth. Projects in Reading, Springfield Township, Lockland, North Bend, Harrison, Woodlawn, and Forest Park. In Silverton, we leverage federal resources to help with the relocation of the town hall, I think the administrator's here this evening, and the remediation of the old municipal building, making way for a new brewery in the center of town. A project like this hits the trifecta: new jobs, increased tax revenue, and a new brewery. I don't know if y'all know this, but breweries are a leading indicator of economic development in our community, right? I like our prospects on that one. And with the generosity of county taxpayers, Union Terminal is once again a magnificent icon. It reminds us of our industrious history and serves as a reminder of what can be accomplished when we share a common vision. With the help of President Pat Longo and the team at HCDC, the startup community has access to office space and business coaching through HCDC's incubator. And under the leadership of Commissioner Todd Portune, we have also invested in second stage companies and are seeing our Office of Innovation and Creativity create jobs and retain talent in this community. That's right. That's right. These types of investments and more throughout the county have been a real catalyst for development. Sadly, I think we can all agree that we simply cannot tolerate the lack of a functioning convention center hotel. Quite simply, the Millennium is a mess. The county held public hearings a couple years ago to help us determine our top capital budget priorities. The millennium rose to the top. For these reasons and more, Mayor John Cranley, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Commission have taken steps to make a new convention center hotel a reality. And while we're on the subject of convention centers, one refrain we hear from our friends to the north is that their centers, not just downtown centers, need some attention. For this reason, we've provided more resources for the Sharonville Convention Center and Cooper Creek Event Center in Blue Ash from the restricted funds generated by the hotel tax. All right, so back in Cincinnati, thanks to many in the room, the bank's development has been a tremendous success. And working together, we will open a modern new music venue that will attract hundreds of thousands to the banks every year. One key function to government is to listen and learn. Nowhere has this played out more than in the design of this venue. Young people made their voices heard all along the way to tell us what they wanted. Because of this, things like indoor-outdoor spaces and open areas for standing are primary features of this venue. And I'm told two of my favorite bands are coming, the Chainsmokers and Vampire Weekend. Just kidding. I have no idea who those bands are. Nate Simon wrote that into my speech. Thanks, Nate. Another initiative is one that Commissioner Portun and I established in 2017, the Office of Economic Inclusion. With the collaborative efforts of the newly informed Inclusion Council and Robert Bell, the director, the office links minority-owned businesses with opportunities for contracts and for purchasing. And some final words on economic development. While I could give a whole speech on the Metropolitan Sewer District, and you're welcome, I won't, the bottom line is this: your county commission will continue to be laser-focused on providing a fair deal for ratepayers while responding to the infrastructure needs of an aging sewer system. A similar focus needs to be put on transit. Quite simply, the county must work with SORTA, the City of Cincinnati, the business community, and bus riders to create a transportation system that gets people from where they live to where they work and play. And speaking of entertainment, I would be remiss in not mentioning FC Cincinnati. Hamilton County is proud of the team and stands ready to help provide parking, not only for game days, but also for the needs of the growing community in that area. I'd like to close my remarks by briefly touching on a subject that is near and dear to my heart: women and girls. The county, as you may know, has created the new Commission on Women and Girls, made up of 10 girls and 20 women. The commission has made recommendations in the areas of pay equity, women's safety, and women's leadership. The county has already adopted a number of the commission's recommendations. They included the salary history ban for prospective county employees. The city, under the leadership of Councilmember Tamaya Denard, has followed suit. That's right. More diversity. We have made huge strides. 77% of new county board appointments have been women or people of color. 77%. And perhaps nothing has been more inspiring than lifting up the voices of girls. Give me a moment. All right, so I want to tell you a quick story, and I cannot do it from up there. So we swore in the first Commission on Women and Girls, and we were out in the lobby, and it was very exciting, and everybody was there, and all the reporters were there, and so they were interviewing everybody, and they were interviewing me, and Claire Wagner, who was one of our youngest commissioners, was standing next to me. And so they were asking me, how it's important to do this and whatnot. And they turned to her and wanted to know why Claire thought it was important to be a member, a girl, on the Commission on Women and Girls. And so the reporter says to her, you're with Commissioner Driehaus. Maybe one day you too could be a Hamilton County Commissioner. And Claire, who stands about this big, looked up at that reporter and said, in very polite terms, "That would be great, but I think I'd rather be President of the United States." That's what we're talking about. So, Claire is with us tonight. Claire, please stand. We want to wish you and all the other girls on the commission best luck on your road to success all the way to the White House. So we must continue to support innovative ways to embrace women and girls in our county. And as Commissioner Summer-Dumas has suggested, we also need to make sure young men receive the supports they need to succeed. In closing, I want to thank everybody in this room for coming. I was going to say drinks are on me, but they're not. Anyway, sorry. It just flows like that. Tonight, let's rededicate ourselves to the county's future, to strengthen and expand local partnerships, to advocate for children and seniors and those in need in our community, to be smart on crime, to fight the scourge of heroin, to create opportunities for all of our residents to be part of the growth of this county, to empower the voices of young people, girls and boys, so that they may thrive. With collaboration, creativity, and cost consciousness, let's build a better county, one with a firm handle on the challenges of today, but also an eye toward our shared vision of tomorrow. Let's move forward together. Thank you.